Good morning. I just want to talk about a few ways that I have practiced slow living this morning. And I first want to start off by saying I am incredibly fortunate because I no longer work in the conventional way. I don't work for an employer. I have a small business in the online space, which generates a small amount of income every month. But I have the gift of time. And I think we don't value time in the way it should be valued. People can say, I heard someone saying it in the town centre a couple of days ago, life is so short, mate, life is so short. And we say that, but we don't really feel it in our bodies. We don't really acknowledge what that means. And we've got a finite amount of time on the planet, sort of averaging these days 80 to 90 years. And I think probably time is one of the most precious commodities you can have. And you do need money to buy it, unless you're happy living a more restricted life. So by that I mean, if you want to live on benefits and manage on what the state gives you, then that's going to be a heavily restricted life for someone like me who values freedom enormously. But I choose to live a frugal life, and my money has bought me time. And hitting 50 was a really pivotal moment for me. That was like the yardam. It was like suddenly I wanted time to slow down, because you're highly likely to be closer to the end of your life than the beginning at that point, because very few people make it to 100. And the quality of your life changes towards the end. Health issues become prominent. There are people that carry on in life and have amazing, wonderful lives into old age, but there are a lot of people who don't. And so you have to factor in the quality of your life and where you're giving your energy. And this is something I think about a lot at the moment. And, it's some changes I've been making for a long time. I gave up conventional TV about 3 years ago. And my TV broke, and I just thought, I'm not replacing that. I don't want this to be my life. I used to come home from work absolutely drained, and I would sit in front of the TV and allow my brain to vegetate for 2 hours, and then I would get up and go to bed and sleep deeply until I woke up and did it all again the next day. And I recognised that I didn't want that. I wanted to see what life was without TV. And whilst I didn't have the energy or capacity for alternative hobbies, because my hobbies weren't really indoor based, and my hobbies actually can't really do most of them anymore because of tendonitis. But it got me off that unconscious treadmill, that numbing out. And I started to use social media instead. And I don't think social media is entirely bad. I think if you structure your social media wisely, it can be really a huge resource. And I've made a lot of positive changes in my life because of social media. So I think there's a lot of negativity around it, and that gets publicised and highlighted. You don't really see anyone talking about the good side of it, and I think there really are plenty of good sides, especially from a learning perspective, if you're open to learning and change. And open to change that you're making, not other people are making for you. Because when other people make changes for you, that's really, really hard for your system to adjust. But when you've chosen change, it's still disruptive, it's still unsettling, but you have chosen change. And hopefully you've chosen it for a conscious reason that's going to benefit you. So that's a completely different thing. So yeah, this concept of slow living and time is definitely something I've been giving a lot of thought to lately. And with it being February, which is possibly one of the slowest months of the year, and conflictingly so, because the nights are drawing out, the quality of the daylight is actually better than it has been. There's slightly more sun rays coming through. It's just ever so slightly lighter, and that conflicts with the sort of low energy that we're in February, just because we've had months of limited light, limited sunshine, cold, and we're in sort of hibernation mode. And that, to an extent, forces a slowing down, and I've noticed so much resistance in myself for doing it, because I've spent most of my life living in productivity is everything. And that's a change that's really difficult to make. But as I'm making it, I am understanding it better. And I was just noticing this morning, I feel low energy. I've got an appointment to be somewhere this afternoon. I need to make sure that the energy I've got doesn't burn out. I don't burn it all out this morning and then feel tired this afternoon. I want to enjoy my appointment this afternoon. It's something that's very special and meaningful to me. And so I made sure I got up slowly, and I have that as an absolute luxury. And let me tell you, that's taken well over a year to adjust to that, the luxury of that. And it feels so odd after a lifetime of getting up to alarms, which I did from a very young age, because of school, and then work, and then fitting everything else in around it. It's hard to not do that. And it's been a long period of adjustment, and I'm probably just starting to reap the rewards of that now, pick the fruit of it is a nicer way of saying it. So I just noticed some ways that I did that this morning, and they evolved very naturally, and they were just small moments, and I think they show really well how you can tap into this in a really low-key way, in a really momentary way, that you could maybe even try for yourself. So after I'd eaten, I got up and made my bed. Now that's something I've been doing for a long time, and it's something I started doing about 4 or 5 years ago. And I think it came from a period of depression when everything felt monumentally hard and my energy levels were terrifically low. And what's beautiful about making your bed in the morning is it gives you a sense of achievement first thing. Your bed then looks beautiful. You get to come back to a beautiful looking bed. And it becomes a little ritual where you're doing something for yourself. So you might be spending the rest of the day serving other people. You might be giving all your energy to an employer. You might have children, you might have friends, you might have family members that need you. But those few minutes when you're making your bed are for you, and you will benefit from your effort. So even if you just only have time to straighten the covers and plump the pillows, whatever, it doesn't have to be a full chore. It should be something that's enjoyable and practical for that particular act. Then I went and had a shower, and I took in, let me get it. Okay, so this I picked up in my local charity shop for 50p about 3 or 4 days ago. It's Rituals. It is a body scrub. It's called the Ritual of Hammam, which is an interesting ritual if you Google it anyway. They still sell this in Rituals, and it's £18.90, which is an absolute rip-off, because there's about 2 handfuls of salt in here, not very much oil, and basically as soon as you put the salt on your skin in a warm shower, it disappears. And I think to have a salt scrub be effective, you need a whacking great handful of salt. But anyway, this is a thing of beauty, and it has meaning. And I took it in the shower, and I just used it on my hands. I woke up this morning with quite a lot of pain in my hands from the tendonitis, possibly due to the way I slept last night. And I just massaged it over my hands, and the salt melted away, but the oil was wonderful. And so that became a little ritual where I slowed the whole shower thing down, and I did it slowly. and I did it, and I was thinking about what I was doing. I'm going to put it down now. I was thinking about what I was doing while I was doing it. I was thinking about how good it felt, how salts are natural, salts and oils are natural products, and then it's got eucalyptus, and yeah, it's got eucalyptus in it, so it smells nice as well. And it just felt so lovely. And I thought, you know, I'm not sure that, I never think of having a shower as being luxurious. I think of a shower as something practical. A bath for me is luxury. Soaking, sitting covered up to here in warm water is just such a beautiful thing. I don't think of a shower the same way, but I'm starting to shift how I perceive going in the shower now, so I can treat myself with luxury. So I gave my hands like a mini spa in the shower, but I just did it slowly, and I really enjoyed what I was doing. And enjoyment is key here, because if you don't enjoy a ritual, you're probably not going to do it. There has to be benefit in it for you. That's not just the act of slowing down time. You know, I've nourished the skin on my hands. I've shown my hands love and attention this morning when they said they needed it. And that's an act of self-care. But it's also an act of self-love. And self-love and self-care are different things. They can overlap, but they are different things, to me anyway. And now another thing I've done is the washing machine isn't working at the moment. And so I took off my PJ bottoms, and I just gave them a hand wash in a bucket, using some nice smelling, I've actually done it with bath gel, because I've got a really luxurious Vivienne Westwood one. And it's not really massively about cleanliness, but they're not particularly dirty. They just need a refresh. And so I really enjoyed that, and I did it slowly, and I did it enjoying the smell, enjoying my hands in the warm water, feeling good, because I know these PJs need a refresh, and that once they're washed, they will be fresh and lovely to sleep in tonight. And that felt like a slowing down, you know, making something that could be a chore into something really enjoyable. And I just did the one thing, you know. I've got a couple of other items that need washing, and I was so tempted to chuck them in as well, and I thought, no, that takes away from this. I need to just stick with these PJ bottoms. And so then there was a fourth thing I did, and that was just after I cleaned my teeth. I'm standing barefoot and I'm in here on the carpet, and I just stopped for a minute and thought about how it felt to have my bare feet on the carpet. It was just really nice. And I just recognised in each of these moments what I was doing. And yeah, you know, just slapping the label of mindfulness on it just makes it so generic. And I think that's why, you know, the mindfulness thing is hard to stick. It's hard to relate to it in anything other than a generic, oh yeah, mindfulness is X, Y, Z. Mindfulness is a lot of different things. And I had a thought while I was in the shower, and I was thinking about this sort of subject of time, and how we habitually want to pass time. That's how we approach time, through I think we've learned that through each other as humans. And I think, isn't it a lovely way to think of time as just slowing down and letting time wrap its arms around you and give you a big hug? And even saying that now, I just feel a little bit of tension drop out of my body. And it's such a lovely thought. Oh, deep releasing breath. Yeah, so I really hope this has been a valuable share. I've enjoyed sharing it. I've enjoyed experiencing it this morning, and that's why I just thought, yeah, I'm going to talk about this. I think it's important. I think it has value. It's quite early in the day. I think it's still sort of around 9 or 10, and I do want to get outside and enjoy the fresh air and the good light. So I will leave you here and wish you an amazing day or evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.